Hi Autophiles. It's been a while. Sorry about the lack of updates. It always happens every few months. I had to go on a Tokyo Motor Show trip and then it was a bit hectic. And also I've been growing this mustache. All this takes work. First of all was the excuses. Second of all, 4,000 plus subscribers. Thank you all so much. Every single subscriber just makes us want to do this more. So yeah, the excuses don't really count. Anyway, thirdly, and I think the main point of this video, Subaru Forester. So enough of my face, let me give you a tour of the car, Autophiles style. So I think the first thing we should look at is, how is this different looking from the 4th generation? This is the 5th generation. To me, the proportions look very similar to the last one. In fact, a lot of the lines I think are just shared. I think if you didn't know any better, you would have thought this is just like a major facelift of the last one, but it's in fact an all new car. And I will go through what is different with you, but immediately if you just want to tell the difference from the front, I think the easiest way, because all this can get a bit confusing with different body kits and different trim levels. Well, of course the grille I think is a big giveaway because it looks a bit different, but immediately that's the easiest way to tell. If there's squiggly lines like this, it's the 5th gen. The 4th gen model is just a big rectangle. The moment you see a little bit of busyness like this, you see that line going up, a line going in and then out like this. 5th gen model Forester. From the back, I mean, same thing, the lights. If you see this whole C shape like this, you know, they say it's like the boxer engine, pistons going out. To me, that's just that's just very funny lah. Anyway, that's how you tell it from the back, the difference. Interior, the easiest way is the aircon vent. In the previous generation of Subaru products, all the aircon vents were just rectangles, very simple looking things. You see a big flat surface. The moment you see a bit of intricacy, multiple material types or at least patterns, and a not rectangular aircon vent here on the side, new model. The next thing we should talk about is the model lineup. So a lot of complaints I've been seeing about this car is it's more expensive than before. And yeah, that's true. I think at the end of the 4th generation Forester in Malaysia, they were selling it for like 120 something thousand ringgit. This time around, it's starting at 140. And there's no like XT turbocharged version yet, so all 3 models that they're selling now all come with the same 2-litre engine and Lineartronic CVT. 140,000 starting price for this car. It does sound like a lot, but consider a couple of things. One, it's an all new product, so everything in here is reworked even though it looks very similar. The second is it's now CBU Thailand, so they have to deal with the taxes and stuff like that. I know this is ridiculous to look at, but just bear with me, it's Movember. The new cars, they start off with the 2.0 IL. Essentially, the mechanical stuff is the same as this, but the rims are smaller. The look is a little bit different because the bumpers are different. But let me just go through what happens when you spend 10,000 ringgit extra and go up to the 2.0 IS variant. So the IS variant will give you a few things. On the outside, like I said, you get the new bumpers. So this bumper garnish at the bottom, they call it the bumper lower guard. It's on the rear, and you get it at the front also. The IS variant gets you this, a power tailgate. And if you notice, the tailgate's much faster than in the previous Subaru Forester. It goes up and down in just 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I started a bit late. First a bike and then now a tractor. Well, I'm on their turf anyway, so can't complain. 18-inch alloys on the IS model. I think they're 17 inches on the IL model. Let's go inside before the tractor destroys our video. There's another difference. You get aluminum pedals on the IS model. They covered it up because we did go off-roading a little bit, so they didn't want to get the pedals dirty. I think the IS model comes with these perforated leather seats. Very important difference in the IS model. X mode. So this is fantastic. I'm not just saying that because it looks like a marketing Subaru gimmick. We tried this out yesterday at the MFG, Most Fun Gym, near KL. And it was so cool. This car with road tires was able to do some crazy stuff. There was a lot of mud, a lot of dirt. Just by flicking a switch, we were able to traverse everything. Another difference, which I should have mentioned earlier before getting in the car, daytime running lights. These are the position lamps, I think. Daytime running lights are down here, I think. So one of these is missing on the IL variant. And you see these headlights? These headlights are steering responsive in the IS variant. So you pay 10,000 ringgit extra, you get a decent number of additional items. But what we're looking at here is the IS Eyesight. 2.0 IS Eyesight. How's that for nomenclature? First of all, as the name implies, you're paying for eyesight. One camera up here and another one. These two cameras work to... Oh my god, it's so hot. Let me turn on the aircon. I'm sorry, Mother Earth. So eyesight is one of those technologies that kind of assists the driver to make the car safer, and it can detect cars, bikes, bicycles and pedestrians, but it's very limited because these are just cameras. There's no millimeter wave radar, there's no LiDAR, there's none of those other technologies. It's just stereo cameras and programming. But don't depend on this. This is just an assistant. But there's three aspects to eyesight that you should know about. First is the preventative aspect, which is pre-collision braking. So if you don't brake in time, it'll warn you and then it'll apply the brakes itself up to a certain speed. And then it has throttle management. If there's a big obstacle in your way, it'll actually cut power to the throttle. So if you try to press the accelerator and it can see that there's something there, it will dampen the amount of power that goes to the wheels to prevent you from slamming into that wall. Don't try that out. And then there's the warning aspect, the second aspect, and that's your lane sway warning. So you can see the lane markings using the cameras, and if you start to sway out, it'll just warn you. It won't give you any steering auto correction yet. So the third aspect is the kind of go aspect, adaptive cruise control. So if you have another car in front of you, turn on your cruise control, set it to a certain speed. If that car slows down, you will slow down. If that car speeds up, it'll speed up to the limit that you set. So part of the third aspect, if you're at a traffic light, you've stopped, and then the vehicle in front of you starts to move forward and you are still playing with your phone or talking to your, well, whoever you're talking to, the eyesight system will detect that a car has moved off and it'll give you a warning just to bring your attention to the front. All of that sounds very familiar, doesn't it? It sounds like Perdua's ASA system, and I do know that Daihatsu owns Perdua and Toyota owns Daihatsu, and Toyota has very strong links to Subaru. I think they might be partial owners or something. So maybe there's some relation there, but that's all speculation. It's just that the feature set looks very similar, and the camera setup, I think the Peridua thing also has two cameras. The feature set looks very familiar. Speculate if you want, but I think, you know, there's enough work in here that even if it's the same hardware, the software is different. So on the Eyesight variant, you also get heated mirrors. If this starts to fog up, I think there's a way to defog it. Maybe it does it automatically. A blind spot monitor as well, and that lights up on the side of the mirror. Very cool. It's got RCTA, so if you go into reverse and there's a car coming in from the side, it will warn you. It'll give you a little buzzer in the center saying there's a vehicle approaching. I'm not sure which variant brings this in, but you've got like an around view monitor for the side. Full spec, this thing is 160,000 ringgit, which is a lot more than 120 odd thousand which it was before. But as you've just seen, there's a lot of extra kit at that price, and as I'm about to demonstrate, these are all the ways that the car itself, I think even in the base model, has been improved over the 4th generation. Starting with the dimensions, this car has a wheelbase that is 30 millimeters. It's 3 centimeters longer between the axles, and overall the length of the car is 15 millimeters longer than before. It's also a whole 20 millimeters wider, and if you open the boot, this cargo space is 15 liters larger than it was before. So the cargo width has been extended all the way to 1300 millimeters, 1.3 meters, which is about the length of a golf bag. So if you put a golf bag, it can actually fit sideways. As I mentioned before, this now goes down in 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. At the rear, very important, big omission in the previous Forester, aircon vents. And now you've got these 2.1 amp chargers for USB ports at the back. You've got these handy storage dividers in the back, so both seats have them. You can put a phone here, a small tablet here, and a small laptop here, or you can do whatever you want, you know. There's no Subaru police that are going to stop you. Interior, you get this new little kind of dimpled design on the plastics. Let's move on to the body itself. This chassis is all new. The previous Forester used Impreza platform. This uses the new Subaru Global platform, and it's better in a lot of ways. First of all, it's more rigid than before, and it has better NVH characteristics. Of course, they didn't give us any data on that, but they did show us that there are now 3 conduction routes for impacts. So let's say you have a collision from the front. In the previous platform, that energy could only be diverted 2 ways into the chassis. This time there's 3 paths for it to go through, so that's better for safety. They also took some technology from their WRC experience and mounted their rear stabilizer directly to the body. That brings down body movement, rolling around by 50% according to Subaru. Suspension has been redesigned. Engine mounts have been redesigned. There's a new rear subframe. Suspension bushings use new materials. If we go and look under the hood, so this 2-litre engine is redesigned now with direct injection, and 80% of its parts have been redesigned. So it's more efficient, and there's more torque available between 50 and 100 kilometers per hour. So it's a much more usable car daily. The gearbox, which is located behind the engine, is now lighter. The ratio spread is a bit wider as well. They've got this auto step speed control, which emulates a close ratio automatic gearbox. And if you go into the pedal shifters and you start shifting, it's got 7 speeds instead of 6. And that's basically it. That's what's new on the Forester, top to bottom, all the specs. I don't know if this is too in-depth or not in-depth enough. Anyway, if you want something else, I'm going to do a sights and sounds right after this. And then when I've been reduced to a puddle of sweat, I'm going to go home and edit all those videos and put it together. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.